Hello, beautiful human. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly how I went from being a standard gym goer with a broken body to moving like what I call a primal monkey and doing movements which seemed impossible, moving better in my 30s than I ever did in my 20s, and feeling healthier, more energized as well. So first thing to say is that this video is going to basically just share my journey, what's worked for me, and the methods which have also worked for my clients and my community as well. And like I said, I started off potentially a little bit similar to how you're feeling now. Like my body was broken. I had 2 busted knees, bad shoulder, bad back, all this stuff. Internal health was a bit of a mess. I had skin issues and digestion issues, low energy, all this type of things were going on. And I think I just knew there was a different way of being. But I used to look at people doing handstand push-ups and all these crazy movements and moving fluidly like an animal and think, whilst I was super inspired and thought that's amazing, my limiting beliefs would quickly come in and crush that and put me in my place and say, you'll never be able to do that. That's not for you. Obviously, now I've gone down that path, I can see that it is possible. And I do believe that human beings all have the potential to do amazing things. And that's ultimately where my journey has led to me now is helping people realize that. And through movement. I think movement is the easiest way for human beings to realize their potential. So, this is for kind of people who feel like there is a new way of being, who have this sort of feeling within them that they're maybe not living up to their potential. Maybe they're not feeling like they're living a life of vitality. And I always think, within us as human beings, we've got this innate wisdom, this ancestral wisdom where our bodies want to heal itself. Our bodies want to be as healthy and sort of energized as possible. We just need to give it the right stimulus, whether that's through movement, through lifestyle, through nutrition. Our bodies want to be healthy and strong and energized. And that's ultimately what the Primal method is all about. And I'm going to give a bit more detail about that now. So before discussing the Primal method, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about my journey, how I came to found the Move Well coach and create the Primal method. So as I mentioned earlier, started the gym at age 16 and I was training just for aesthetics. I was a young kid, just looking to get big, really, looking to get strong. But I found that I did get persistent injuries. And I wasn't, for example, I had to quit football because I could no longer run around a pitch without being in pain. I wasn't particularly functional or fit, although I might have looked like I was. My movement journey began at the age of 25. Now, I first saw a video of a guy called Dido Portal, was super inspired, but I also, my limiting belief just came in and said, you'll never be able to do that. So for about 6 months, I had this video of him in my head, but I just knew that I could never do that. It wasn't until a friend of mine we planned to just go down a YouTube rabbit hole. And from there on in, I was hooked. And I've poured my sort of heart and soul into it over the last sort of 8 years. My friend sort of quit after a few weeks. And during this time, I was working as a software engineer. So I was very much sedentary lifestyle, sitting in the computer for 7-8 hours a day. So I understand how unnatural that is for someone. But it's obviously the way of the modern world. So I've traveled the world, trained under different coaches online and in person. And that's my movement journey. And then my sort of health journey also began because whilst I was training hard, I wasn't really clued up on nutrition per se. I was just eating a lot of food basically. And this was leading to some sort of health issues with my skin, with my digestive issues. I was quite lethargic. I didn't really have the best energy levels, or consistent energy levels at least. And I actually started studying functional health with the Institute of Health. And if you don't know what functional health is, it's basically where we try and be proactive about health by doing root cause analysis. Instead of trying to treat symptoms, we try and get to the underlying cause of the symptom and then treat that with nutrition, lifestyle, supplementation, all trying to use natural methods. And again, it's just kind of a little bit more in-depth to sort of your regular health coaching. It's trying to find the underlying causes of symptoms rather than just treating symptoms and looking for quick fix solutions. And as it says there, the Move Well Coach was founded in 2022. So I want to take you back to our ancestors. I always say this, the human body, we are built to move. And our ancestors would have been hunting, crawling through, the grass to hunt, climbing tough terrain, squatting on a campfire with ease and dancing with full expression. And they would have been connected to nature. Now, what do I mean by that? I always talk about the ancestral wisdom. They would have been connected to nature. They would have understood what herb to eat for a specific sort of illness or what remedies nature had, and they would have been in tune with their bodies. They would have understood that our bodies work in conjunction with nature, not separate to nature. Fast forward to today, where we've got sedentary lifestyles, people sitting at desks, staring at computers, hunched over postures, a bodybuilding culture potentially where, a heavy focus on aesthetics rather than the actual functionality of a body, and chronic injury. The stats on injury is pretty insane these days, and almost everyone's got some sort of ache and pain going on in their body. And overall, we're disconnected from nature, I think. And I think that's the main thing that I'm trying to get across, is that modern humans today are pretty disconnected from our natural state of being. So how do we bridge that gap? Well, the first thing is assessment. So finding where someone is at, meeting them where they're at. So that could be with their movement, with their health, understanding what sort of things they're doing for their health at the moment, and what their physical and maybe even mental limitations are. Do they have limiting beliefs? Do they have physical limitations that we can overcome? Goal setting, and that's a really important one, because when you're working with a program, actually having specific milestones, specific goals, keeps you on track, keeps you motivated, and keeps the sort of inspiration there. And doing that together is a really interesting exercise as well. And then bespoke programming. So, all of my programs are bespoke. It's never ever a cookie cutter, one size fits all approach. Everyone's different. Each human being is different. That could be from a training program to a nutrition plan, lifestyle techniques. I try to understand the person as much as I can before delivering a program to them. And then consistent support. Of course, being in contact and reassessing how someone's going as the program goes. The first couple of weeks might be great, and there might be a little blip in after a few weeks. Well, that's where the support comes in, to sort of keep that discipline, keep that motivation high, rather than letting someone just sort of let someone go for 2 months. It's all about sort of regular support, and making sure that the person can see the other side and see that sort of promised land, the future them that they've envisioned at the start of the process, and keeping them on track with that. And that comes down to my 3 principles. So cultivating freedom, that's freedom in the body, freedom of the mind, but also freedom to have sovereignty over our health. Embracing discipline. So rather than seeing discipline as this strict, harsh thing, actually let's embrace that and have these set healthy principles that we want to have for our life, and embracing that. And the main one, having fun. So I think movement is all about having fun. Enjoying yourself when it comes to your life as well. It shouldn't be a strict, serious thing. If you don't want it to be, it should be enjoying the process, having fun with it, and having fun with playing with your body again. Enjoying the body you've been given. And the method exactly then. So split into movement and wellness. So like I mentioned earlier, personalized program to get you moving like a primal monkey, whilst overcoming limitations, exploring your potential and mastering your body, learning new skills. This is a super fun way of doing it, but also really keeps you engaged, because as you can feel yourself progressing towards these skills, and learning to move more throughout the day. So getting that sort of that brain connection of training regularly, but because of enjoyment of it, not because you have to, but actually because you enjoy doing it. And then wellness. So having data-backed nutrition and lifestyle plans that use your biofeedback markers and blood analysis. So using this ancestral, almost combining ancestral wisdom with modern techniques to give you a data-backed plan specific to you and your needs. Holistic techniques to regulate nervous system. Modern day life has got us under stress, in stress mode, and actually having techniques that we can do throughout the day, throughout the week, to regulate our nervous system means that we can then function optimally. And learning to take sovereignty over our health without reliance on strict dieting or medication. That's the big one for me. Is the reliance on medication is a sort of modern phenomenon, and we try and steer away from that as much as we can with a process as natural as possible. So who do we help? Well, there's a variety of different people who we help, from young mums to lawyers to business owners to people who are working sort of laborious jobs. Ultimately, I think the thread that connects these people is they're people who see a different way. They've gone to the gym regularly. They don't resonate with that anymore. Maybe their body's a little bit broken. Maybe they just don't feel called to training like that anymore. They have a growth mindset, so they believe there's in this different way, and they have a growth mindset. They're expansive. They're kind of open-minded to different approaches, and just always wanting to better themselves. People feeling disillusioned. Again, maybe they've been told that they've got to do a certain diet, or they've got to count their calories or something like this, and they just feel disillusioned and disattached to that way of thinking, and maybe even confined, and they want to be more expansive and more exploratory in a more natural way. And there's also people who've had negative past experiences. So again, that could come down to maybe a HIIT class they went to, or a PT they had that has kind of put them off exercise, and they want to find a new way that's more enjoyable and more nourishing for the body and the soul, I'd say. And that's how someone like Chris went from 0 push-ups to 20 push-ups in 8 weeks, and he was practicing handstands in 12 weeks. Now that was an amazing one even for me. Katie learned to handstand in just 6 weeks. Rob is now moving better in his late 30s than he did in his 20s. And Karina got into the shape of her life with just 20, 30 minutes a day. And that's like the most amazing thing for me is, I remember receiving this message from Karina. She'd done her own kind of before and after photo. And she was like, Tom, I can't believe this. In just like 30 minutes a day, look at this change, you know. And this is the kind of results we're getting. Like people are surprised at what you can achieve with smaller sessions throughout the day, but also, you know, moving your body in a different way, and actually learning to master your body and how valuable and effective it can be. So there we go, that's the Primal method. If you feel inspired by what you've seen and what you've heard, and you feel like there is a new way of being and you want to explore that opportunity, then reach out with the word info. I'll ask you a few questions, send over some information, and if needs be, we can jump on a call and see where you're at, what's holding you back, and you know what your goals are really. Thank you very much for watching.